You can sell digital products online as soon as today, and I'm going to show you how with my 5-step super simple strategy. The great thing about the strategy that I'm going to be sharing with you today is, number one, you don't need a website. Number two, you're going to be using 2 business tools that I highly recommend. And number 3, they're both free. Let's get right to it. So the first thing I should make clear is, in this process, I'm assuming that you have already created your digital product. So with your digital product created, the first thing that we're going to do in step number 1 is to turn your digital product into a PDF. The reason why you want to convert it to a PDF is it's going to make distribution of your digital product super simple and very easy. And that's a necessary part of the business tool that we're going to be using to sell your digital product. So I'm going to show you using 3 of the most common ways that people create their digital products, how you can actually convert it to a PDF. So let's jump right over into my computer, and I have a Google Doc pulled up. So in this Google Doc, in order to convert this to a PDF, all that you need to do is click on File. You're going to come down to where it says Download, and then go over to where it says PDF Document. Click on that. Once you click on that, it's going to convert your Google Doc into a PDF. Now, the second way that you might create a digital product might be using something like Word. So in order to convert a Word document into a PDF, what you'll do is you'll come up to your menu up at the very top of your screen. You're going to click on File, and then you'll click on Save As. Once you click on Save As, another menu is going to pop up. And I'm going to expand this so you can see it a little bit better. You're going to focus on this section that says File Format. And then what you'll do is click on that up-down arrow and go to the point where it says Export Formats and look for PDF. Click on PDF and then leave it checked to Best for Electronic Distribution and Accessibility unless it's something that actually needs to be printed. And what you'll do after selecting that is then click on Export. I already have a version of this, so I would just say Replace, and it would go ahead and create that. So that's how you would create it in both Google Docs and Word. Now what I want to do is to show you another very common method that people use in order to create their digital products, and it's one of my favorites, and this is going to be Canva. I'll put a link to Canva down in the description box as well. So here I have a document that I've created, and so this is something that could very easily be converted to a PDF. And the way that you'll do that is you'll come over to where it says Share. Next, you're going to go down to the section that says Download, click on that, and what you'll then do is, if it's defaulting to PNG, which is a picture, you're going to change that from PNG and you're going to select either PDF Standard or PDF Print. Once again, it depends upon whether or not your document is something that people would be printing. I'm going to select PDF Standard, which is best for documents and emailing. So I'm going to select that. There's one additional thing that you can do, which is select Flatten the PDF, and what that will do is make it so that you don't have to worry about it being blurry. However, I will caution you of this. If you have any links where someone would click on it and go to another website, leave that unchecked, because my experience has been if you select flatten, your links don't work when the person actually opens it up and tries to click on it. So once you've done that, what you're then going to do is just click on Download, and that will create a PDF for you. You might be thinking to yourself, well, Rhonda, that's all fine and dandy. However, my digital product is in the form of a podcast episode. It's a webinar, a masterclass. It's a YouTube video, whatever it may be that's not an actual document. No worries. You're still going to need a PDF created. And here's the reason why. when an individual purchases your digital product, they're going to need to receive a PDF that contains the link to whatever it is that you are actually selling, whatever your digital product is. So I'm going to show you how you can do that using this exact same document, but what we're going to be doing is inserting the link to, I'm going to just use one of my YouTube videos. So I'm going to increase the size of this document. Okay, and you'll notice there's a section that says download link. So I'm going to go over, grab a link to one of my YouTube videos, go back to that download link, and once I click on it, you're going to see this little menu pop up. I'm going to go to the three dots that say more. I'll click on that, and then I'm going to select link. Once I click on that, I'll just enter in, paste that in, and it's important that you hit the enter key so that that link is actually created. Now you can follow the same steps to download this as a PDF, because this is going to be a necessary part of our sales process once we get to the point of actually creating our sales page and all of the digital assets that we'll need to send to our customers. So step one, really simple, very easy to do. Now in step two, what you're going to need is a visual representation of your digital product. The reason why you're going to need this is when you create your sales page, it's always nice to have an image of your digital product. It kind of gives the person that would be purchasing your digital product an idea of what they can expect to receive when they purchase your digital product. So I'm going to show you using Canva what a mock-up image would look like. And a mock-up image is, again, that visual representation. So over in Canva, here's a mock-up of a digital product that I actually sell. And so all I've done is taken copies of the pages of my digital product and put them into a mock-up, and then just put a picture of the cover, if you will. Now, the next thing you'll need to do with your mock-up is to download it so it can be used as part of the sales page that we're going to be creating in a later step. So in order to do that, you're going to go to Share, you're going to then go to Download, and then we're going to leave this set to PNG. Okay, now normally what I would do is select transparent background. However, that is one of the options that's available only to individuals with a pro account. I have a pro account, and I highly recommend, if you think you're going to be using Canva regularly, that you consider it. Now, there is a workaround if you don't have a paid account, that you can still go ahead and download this. So instead of selecting transparent background, you would just leave it unchecked, and then you'd go through and download it. Now once you download it, because the way I would do it, it's going to be on a transparent background, this is what your image is going to look like. Now it looks black here, and that's simply because it's on a transparent background. So in the next step, what we're going to do is to set up the process so that we can begin selling our digital product. And what we're going to use to do that is ConvertKit. Now you might be thinking to yourself, ConvertKit, isn't that an email service provider? It is. However, it is one of my favorite tools because it does double duty. Not only is it going to allow you to collect email addresses and be able to send out email messages to your customers, the other thing it's going to do is to allow you to sell digital products. All right, so to begin this part of the strategy, you're simply going to set up a free ConvertKit account. You can actually use this ConvertKit account free until you get to 1,000 subscribers. Now, for demonstration purposes, I'm actually going to be using my husband's ConvertKit account. His account is not currently set up to sell digital products, whereas mine is. And I want to be able to show you the steps from the very beginning so you'll know exactly what to do to set up your ConvertKit account. So I'm already logged into his account, and this all you're going to do is just enter some basic information to get to this point. Once you are at this point, The next thing you're going to do is come up to the top here under the category that says Earn. You'll click on Earn, and then you're going to click on Products. Once you click on that, you're going to see this screen. So you're going to have two components that you'll need to complete. The first one is to create a product, and the second one is going to be to set up your payment system. Now, this is essentially you setting up a Stripe account that's going to be connected to ConvertKit. Stripe is just a payment processor that's going to allow you to receive payments. So step number 4 is going to be to set up your payment processor. And as you can see, all you have to do from this screen is just click on Set Up Payments. And then the next thing that will happen is it's going to ask you to review all of your details, which definitely take the time to review all of the information that you've input, read and agree to the terms, and then you can click on Submit. So after you have gone through the process of setting up your payment information, now the next step of the process is to set up or create your very first product. So we're going to come down to where it says create a product. You'll click on that, or you can click on new product. We'll click on create a product, and here it's going to ask us for some basic information to allow us to get our product set up and ready for sale. So the first thing it's going to ask you to do is to give your digital product a name. So I'm going to type in profit and loss tracker. Okay. The next thing it's going to ask you is whether or not this is a product or if it is a subscription. Obviously, if it's a digital product and you're just selling it one time, you're going to select product. If it's something where people are going to be paying regularly, then you're going to select subscription. After selecting that, you'll click on Next. Then you're going to enter a price for your product. So I'm just going to say that this is a $7 product. And then it's going to ask you to determine whether or not your customer should be allowed to choose a quantity. Because this is a one-off product, I'm going to say no and just leave that unchecked. And then you'll select your currency. Once you click Next, it's going to now ask you to complete the fulfillment section. So you have to define what you're selling. So I'm selling, and I'm going to leave this set to a digital download. The next thing it's going to ask you to do is to upload a copy of the product file. So again, if you were selling a digital product, you would just simply upload the PDF. If you are selling a podcast, a video, masterclass, etc., then you're going to use the document that we created with the download link, and that's what you're going to upload here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Upload a File. You're going to then find that file, and then the next thing you're going to do is just simply upload that. And it'll take just a few seconds in order to complete that. You'll know that it was successful when you actually see the name of your file there. The next thing it's going to do is to give you the URL where this product would actually be available for sale. Once that's all filled in, and the system will do it quickly, just click on Create Product. It's going to take just a second, and you see it has actually filled in some of the details. Now, what we have to do is fill in the remainder of the information, which is going to include that mock-up picture that we created and a description of our digital product. So on this page, what you'll do is click on Replace, and then you're going to choose the file that you're going to upload. So wherever you save that mock-up picture, we're going to need that now because we're going to either drag and drop it, or you can find the file on your computer and just select it that way. So I'm going to choose Files to Upload, and then what I'm going to do is to go over, select it, and let it pull that in. Now, you'll notice that it's gone ahead and it's pulled it in. Remember I mentioned that there was a little workaround that you could use if you did not have a paid Canva account? Well, what you do in order to work around that, because it's going to be on a white background if you just have downloaded it without selecting transparent background, just leave your background color set to white, and that way everything will just blend in. Next, you're going to enter in details regarding your digital product. So you'll notice that what I've done here is I've just copied in a description of my digital product. It already had the name of the product listed there. Now, if you need to add in any additional information, you can click on that plus sign and it's going to give you things like numbered lists. You can change the headings. You can put in images, buttons, dividers, countdown timers, any of that. So you've got quite a lot of options that are available. I'm going to just leave it as it is. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is start to customize the colors that are listed in here. So I'm going to click on this icon, the button icon, and I'm going to change that to a color that I use pretty frequently. So if you know hex colors, you can put that in there. You can also use this and move it around, and it will allow you to select a color, but I'm going to put in the color that I want to use. Now you'll notice my text is kind of faded in because it was set to white. So I'm going to come up here and change my text color to black. All right, so now that's all set. And then what we're going to do is just continue to follow the steps. So we're going to go to checkout. All right. Once I go to checkout, it's going to give me the option of adding an upsell. See, this is why I like ConvertKit, because you're not just limited to selling your main product. If you do have an upsell, you can add that as well. And then the rest of this is going to be the form that your customer is going to see. So for example, they'll have the section in that says pay with card, and then they'll enter their email address, their name, their card number, and then they'll simply click pay this, whatever the amount is for your digital product. The other thing I should have shared with you is you also have the ability to change your font style. So you can do that over on the right side. So here you can change the font, and they have a variety of items that are listed in there. I'm just leaving it set to what it is. You can edit and crop things. You can change colors. So you have a lot of different options. All right. The next thing we're going to do is click on the confirmation tab. And on the confirmation tab, you're going to see what your customer would see once they actually make the purchase. And then the final thing is going to be the receipt. So if you click on receipt, you're going to be able to see what your customer will receive in the form of a receipt once they've made the purchase. So you can customize this, and for example, you can do the personalization. So you can add that to the email. So I just put in subscriber name because remember we would have collected that in the previous step. And so it's going to give you an opportunity to put in or customize whatever message you would like for your customer to see. They'll see the date that they purchased it, the last 4 digits of their payment method, and then finally the download button is going to be there. So your customer is going to be getting everything all in one step. Now, the next thing you'll want to do is make sure that you save this so that your product is available. Now, understand at this point, it hasn't yet been published, but it has been saved. So if you need to go back and make any changes, all you have to do is click on the various tabs. Okay, and that will allow you to make whatever changes you need to make. Once customers start purchasing things, you're going to also be able to see how many items have been purchased. You're going to be able to review reports and so forth. Now, once you have everything entered, you'll be able to come up to the top and click on this section that says View. Once you do so, you're going to see your digital product just the same way that your customer would. Now, I don't know if you've noticed this, but this profit and loss tracker mock-up image is pretty large. So I'm going to show you how to correct that. So let's close out. Let's go back to the profit and loss section. Let's click on the image, and if you'll notice, this image fit says fill. So what I'm going to do is change it from fill to fit. And once I do that, it's going to reduce the size of the mock-up image. You'll want to then save it again just to make sure that everything is saved properly, and then click on View so that you can check it out. And you'll notice that now, personally, for my taste, it just looks a little bit better. So what we have done here is we have created your digital product, and now, quite honestly, it's ready to sell. So in order to do so, what you're going to then do is go ahead and click on Publish. Once you click on Publish, it's going to give you the link that you can now use to distribute to your customers. So you can post this on social media. You can put it in your Instagram bio link. Wherever it is that you want to promote your product. If you're doing YouTube videos, you could put this into your description box. So now you have a digital product that is ready to go, ready for sale. And what will happen is when people begin the process of purchasing your digital product, you're going to be notified through ConvertKit and also through Stripe that you have actually made a sale. So you can start getting accustomed to earning income based upon the work that you've put in place to create an incredible digital product. So if you have been unsure about the process of selling digital products online, mystery solved. You now know exactly what you need to do to start selling your digital products. And because we use ConvertKit, you've also collected your customers' email addresses. So here's an opportunity for you to continue to build that relationship by sending information out to them. Now, you'll need to make sure, because in some countries, even if someone purchases something and you collect their email address, it's not necessarily legal for you to just start emailing. So make sure that you do, in fact, check the laws that relate to the countries that your customers might be subscribing from to make sure it's legal to do that. If you're intrigued by selling digital products online, but you haven't yet created your first digital product, I want you to watch this video next. What it's going to do is to walk you through the steps necessary to create an in-demand digital product. I'll see you in the next video.